If you haven't already seen my video on Carnor Jax and his rise to power, I highly recommend you check it out before watching this video. But if you're not going to, here's a little summary. Carnor Jax was an Imperial Royal Guard who didn't really have any loyalty to Papa Palps, and he would sabotage Palpatine's clone bodies during Operation Shadow Hand. Jax then killed all of the Royal Guards except for Kir Kanos, who escaped. Meanwhile, Jax came to rule over the remains of the Dark Empire, now being referred to as the Crimson Empire, with the capital on Ord Cantrell. Upon seizing power, Jax declared himself Emperor and ruled with the assistance of 12 people of the Imperial Interim Ruling Council. The council contained a number of aliens on it, which was for the first time in galactic history that the Empire had given aliens such major political positions. The inclusion of aliens on the council was also a political move by Jax to gain support among various isolated planets in pockets to give a headache to the New Republic. The extent of the Crimson Empire was a long strip running from the colonies to the Outer Rim, and bordering on Artus Kane's alignment. However, the council was dubbed the Council of Blood by Kanos for allowing the death of Palpatine. The Diet of Imperial Planetary Governors was also a body established by the Interim Ruling Council to create a facade of representative democracy in the Empire, though in reality it served to mostly be a rubber stamp to legitimize the Council's edicts. Nevertheless, Carnor Jax's political shakeups would go on to inspire the first steps to the Imperial transition from ruling Emperor to what would become the Imperial Remnant. However, Jax ruled with an iron fist and had some counselors who planned to expose his coup killed, and Counselor Quest was one of Jax's closest allies, exercised several abuses of power, and had any dissidents incarcerated. Although many of the former Empire's military commanders established themselves as independent warlords in the deep core and ignored Jax as well as the Council, Crimson Empire represented the last vestige of the centralized Imperial state established by Palpatine. Despite the fact that Jax's military forces were now significantly depleted, he still had a considerable fighting force including Star Destroyers, ground troops, and the 133rd Imperial Fighter Group. His highest-ranking officers were Generals Red Wessel and Imodet. After Jax came to power, he set his sights on galactic domination. However, these plans would be put on hold as killing Kir Kanos became Jax's #1 priority. He followed Kanos to the planet Zadaj, where Kanos had been last seen. The location turned out to be a trap, and a large detachment of stormtroopers were killed in an explosion on the planet's surface. Kanos resurfaced on Feda, where he successfully escaped Jax due to the incompetence of local Imperial militiamen. But Jax discovered that Kanos went to Yin Chor afterwards. Arriving above Yin Chor in the ironically named Emperor's Revenge Star Destroyer, General Wessel spotted Kanos' ship above the planet's surface and prepared to take it aboard. Sensing that the ship was a trap, Jax took a squad of his Black Hole stormtroopers and his assistant Blim to board a shuttle and left the Star Destroyer. As Jax's shuttle left the docking bay, Kanos' booby-trapped ship exploded, ripping Emperor's Revenge apart and killing General Wessel. After the death of Wessel, Imodet became the Crimson Empire's highest-ranking officer. He was also a member of the ruling council, and his troops occupied several entire sectors along the New Republic frontier and provided a line of defense. However, Imodet was highly xenophobic and was often suspicious of alien members of the ruling council. His suspicions would eventually prove somewhat correct when he was poisoned by the Black Sun in an effort to increase power of their council member. But back to Jax on Yin Chor. After landing on the planet, Jax had Blim in a hiding place to use a sniper rifle to kill Kir Kanos, as he and a squad of Black Hole stormtroopers went to flush out Kanos. However, Kanos was able to kill all of the stormtroopers, while the escaped 2 rebels killed Blim. Meanwhile, Kir Kanos and Jax had a duel where Jax was fatally stabbed by Kanos. Following Jax's death, the aristocratic Bernoids became head of the Crimson Empire after having gained considerable wealth from Jax's downfall. On Ord Cantrell, the Lloyds hosted a meeting of the council in a courtyard in their villa, where Councillor Fina de Astra suggested that the only way to rebuild the Empire in the face of New Republic pressure was to sue for peace. The Lloyds, meanwhile, in turn accused her of trying to split the council and increase her own power. He then reminded her that every present councillor had already gained considerable power due to having followed Jax, and adjourned the meeting to retire to his chambers. Noloids was then assassinated with an exploding disc as part of a plot supervised by Yuzang Fong agent No Manor. Under Anor's guidance, council member Sandel Caravas came to power and eventually purged his enemies in the council, disbanding it altogether and proclaiming himself to be emperor. Unknown to even Caravas was the fact that Anor was targeting the Council to hasten the Crimson Empire's collapse and advance a massive Yuzhang invasion of the galaxy. Anyway, Caravas' rule was very short-lived as he was fat and stupid, and Kanos killed Caravas while the New Republic captured the capital of Ord Cantrell, taking the remaining counselors into custody. Did you know about the Crimson Empire before this video? Is there anything that I left out or should have talked more on? Let me know in the comments, and thank you for watching.